So for this week, we are sitting at plus 7R, just following a simple rule base. Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Tans here. Now I know I've set up I will be posting uh, regularly. Life just got in the way and I just haven't had the time. However, what I've decided to do is sit down and record a bunch of videos all in one go so I can drip feed over the next few weeks. So that way I don't need to stress or worry about not posting. And it's more I feel bad that I've released content, I've said I'm going to post and I just didn't. Now the content I'm talking about is a couple months ago I released a free edge. It's the updated version of the blueprint model that is already on YouTube, but this is what I would say it's a more mechanical and it's got a cleaner entry with less discretion. So this gives you a taste of what we offer at Vertex and what we do at Vertex, and this is just a free model released for you guys. Now, just because it's a free model does not mean that it's not a good model at all. It's actually a very good model, and I have done 4 weeks worth of breakdowns via emails, and I've given these PDFs out, and it gives you basically everything from trades, from trade breakdowns to very clear trade breakdowns even. As well as giving you the exact entry, exact stop loss, exact take profit, whatever. And you can replicate everything that I'm basically going to show. Now, if you haven't received this for whatever reason, what I suggest doing is visit the website, which the link will be in the description below. And then you can subscribe to our mailing list and send us a message in live chat, and we will send you all 4 PDFs. I think it's four or five PDFs, however many I did, I'm not sure. But you'll get all of them emailed to you, and then you could reference to this video, and then you can start practicing by yourself. So I'm going to start doing a random week in March. The only reason I'm doing this is because the last one I did in the PDF format was in February, so we'll just crack on from there. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoy the video. I hope you guys enjoy the edge. I hope you guys have enjoyed the previous content as well. But as I said, I will try and this is I think the third or fourth video that I'm doing today at the minute. So hopefully you'll have plenty of content across the next couple of weeks where you can have like consistent content from myself about this free edge. So let's get going from Monday. If you've been following us for a while, you know that we've released the DPC back in 2023, the updated version, which is our true mechanical edge. And we've been posting all our results here live on the website in live time, where we're currently sitting at over 3,000%. All our monthly results are posted here. As not only that, you see examples of members' replications, and the reason why you see so many replications, this is only a handful. If you go to our Instagram page, you'll see replication after replication to the point where you'd think it's the same post, when in reality it's purely the same edge being replicated by all our members that are following the DPC edge. And the only way that this level of replication is only possible because we have an edge that has zero discretion, zero guesswork, same stop loss, same TP, same session, same targets. Everything is exactly the same. So all our members are achieving the exact same results. Now, at some point in this video, probably near the end, you'll get some sort of discount code. Purely because this is the first video back. You can access any of our programs and you can use whatever discount code I choose to give. I don't actually know at the minute, but what I suggest doing is thinking about this as an investment, as an investment for yourself, because you have to think about it in terms of, if you're watching this video, you're here because you want to progress your trading, and the way you can do that is by enhancing your enhancing your knowledge base. And I know buying into a mentorship may sound like it's a bit of a scam or whatever. I know, especially in this industry, but we've been around since 2019. We've not changed, and if anything, edges have just got better and better. And we've actually like developed programs which are accessible in for most people, well, for pretty much everyone. We've given also monthly fee options where it can make it easier for you. And as I said, every single trade is posted, and there's no way you can really digress unless you change the system yourself. Anyway, we also do have the Vertex algo coming soon, which is going to be our EA for our DPC edge, so you can achieve those exact same results but hands-free. But that'll be coming soon, so be sure to keep an eye on that. And before we carry on with the video, I also want to mention Vertex funding. If those of you aren't aware, that we do have our own funding platform, and we've been around for a few years now, and we've sort of made a name for ourselves. And we have just released our instant accounts, where you can simply choose your account, start trading it and profit, and then you can withdraw whenever you wish, really. There's no minimum trading days. You can withdraw from day one, no consistency rule, and you can compound it to however much you wish. But we do have also a two-phase option, which is slightly cheaper for you guys. So you can choose, you can play around with this website. The link to this website will be in the description below, and you can do everything from this page. Okay, so this is Monday the 3rd of March. Okay, so the first thing that we need to identify is the most recent sweep prior to the session, right? And how we do this is, sorry, I didn't even mention, this is the fractal indicator by Rachel T. I didn't change anything else, it's just plugged in, and the session time is between 7 and 9. So we are only looking for trades in that session window, which is only a 2-hour window, and that's purely because that is probably the most liquid time for London. Oh wait, that is 7 to 9 London time, by the way. As you can tell, I don't have a script for any of my videos. I sort of just speak as I'm recording. I find that I struggle following a script, to be honest. I sort of just waffle as I go, and I tend to miss information as I'm just trying to say whatever's coming to my mind. So the first thing that we need to identify is the most recent sweep of the session. Now, how this works, essentially, ignore all of this, but I'm just going to say what we're looking for is we are looking for either a bearish sweep or a bullish sweep. So it's either the sweep of the high, sweep of a low. That's all we're looking for. The reason for that is because the idea is above and below and above these ranges we have liquidity. That is the idea of this. That was meant to be a dollar sign, and it's not. Sorry. And then we are looking to trade in the opposite direction, because the assumption is liquidity has been taken. So for example, like this being a major range here to here, liquidity has been taken, and then price goes and takes out the range. That's the idea of this. That's the idea of this trade, and we're looking to capitalize on that move. Now, what we are looking for, it doesn't have to be a fractal that sweeps another fractal. It just has to be anything that sweeps. Now, the only thing that invalidates a sweep is a candle body. So say when we have a sweep like this, for example, this is only a wick, but eventually we have a body that closes below a sweep. That invalidates the sweep, and then we no longer need to look for a trade. We also are only looking for sweeps within a range. So for example, say here we have a sweep of this high. And I'll explain about major and minor as well. So like this would be a major range, this would be a minor range, and a minor range essentially is a range between a major. Just keep it simple. Anyway, let's just focus on this major range for now. So say we have this sweep and it eventually goes and takes out this low. We are only looking for trades in this period. The only reason is because once this is taken, this is essentially another fractal sweep where we'll be looking to buy from, and then to take out the range high, which effectively it does. And this is actually, I didn't see this prior to recording, but this is actually a perfect example of how these fractal sweeps and liquidity sweeps actually works. It's essentially liquidity sweeps, but we're just using fractals just because it gives you it doesn't make you guess where your highs and lows are. This gives you a foolproof way of identifying your ranges, a foolproof way of identifying your highs and lows, and where your sweeps actually are and which sweeps are actually valid. Okay, so let's get rid of all my drawings. So let's get into Monday. So the first thing that we see is, and the sweeps can be from anything, can be from major or minor, whichever is the most recent. So the most recent thing that sweeps here prior to this session is the low. Okay, so this low gets taken here, and if anything, I will use a cleaner thing and use an arrow. So that means all we're looking for is buys when it comes to the session. Okay, that's as simple as that. Once you've done that, you go into the minute chart. And this is the time frame where we'll be looking for our entries. Okay, so as soon as the session starts, we can start looking for buys. Now, the key part about this is you don't have to ignore, well, not you don't have to, you don't ignore what's happened previously. So say, for example, there's a sweep prior to here, you can enter off that sweep from there. It doesn't have to be, the sweep doesn't have to be in the session itself. But anyway, we're still going to go with the most recent major or minor sweep. Okay, so the first thing that happens that we can see is we have a sweep here of this low, which means that we can start looking for buys. Now, how the entry system works is that when we have a sweep, we look for a candle where it breaks bullish. So how that works is it doesn't have to be the most immediate candle. As long as the sweep is not invalidated, then we don't go for the trade. Now, in this case, let's go from the most recent range. So we have a sweep here, here, and then it gets invalidated. So there is no trade. Then we have another sweep, and then it gets invalidated because it's a volley. And then here we have another sweep. It doesn't get invalidated because it's a wick, and it gets triggered in here because it's broken bullish from this candle. Now, how it works, our entry system is our buy order is going to be, now you can use buy stops or manual execution. I personally would manually execute, purely because I find with buy stops, I don't like the idea of being triggered in by spread, because you know how spread fluctuates and it's slightly questionable. Even if you were to add a buffer to account for spread, brokers do some really weird things, and it's very, for me, I find it off-putting and I don't like it, but it's up to you what you choose. But how it's going to work is the trade is going to be placed above the high on the candle that gets triggered. So how it would work is, if you're doing buy stops, you'll place the first buy stop would be, so you have the sweep here, your first buy stop would be here. Once this candle is printed, the buy stop would move to here, and then so on as you go until it gets triggered or invalidated. Anyway, so we have the sweep and it gets triggered here. Now, in terms of stop loss, it's going to be 0.5 pips below the lowest point of that sweep. So that's here. So we're going to add, what was that? Yeah, that's 5, sorry. Now, because this is under 3 pips in terms of stop loss, we are looking for a 5R target, which I just did it exact. There we go. And that is our session complete, and that is actually a very great start to the week. And that is as simple as that. So if it was above 3R, if it was above 3 pips, we are looking for only looking for a 3R target. If it's below 3 pips, we're looking for a 5R target. So it gives you a strict rule as to where your targets will be, so there's no guesswork in that either. And that is it. And then you walk away, you leave it. You leave that session and you wait for the next day. So let's move on to Tuesday. So we're now looking at Tuesday, Tuesday the 4th of March. So what we can already see is that we have this hourly sweep here, which means that we are looking for buys, which is very simple. So our buys are already determined for our session. So let's go to the minute chart. And let's see what happens from here. Okay, so let's start looking. So essentially we're looking for bearish sweeps, and then we're looking to buy. So already I can see we have a sweep here, and this eventually gets triggered on this candle here. So let's place our order. And this would be 2.5, so this will be a 5R target. I'm not going to draw it all the way, this lost anyway. Okay, then we're looking for another sweep. So the next sweep that we have is here, I believe. Yeah. So we have the sweep here. Actually, I did that all in my head actually. So let me work this out for you. So we have this high, this low. We have this sweep invalidates by this body. Bear in mind, actually, this is still taken out. So this is still part of the trade. So we didn't even look at that. Ignore that. Actually, I was just saying what's in my head. That is actually the next sweep anyway, so I don't need to explain anything further. Anyway, so we have this sweep and it gets triggered eventually here on this candle, and then our stop loss is going to be 2.7 pips, and it's going to be a 5R target again, which is here. Okay, and that's it for the session. Let me make sure I've not missed anything. No. Okay. So so far for the week, so we're sitting at +5 from Monday, -1, so 4, and then +5. So we're sitting at 9R for the week already. So let's move on to Wednesday. So we're now looking at Wednesday, and this is actually a very good example to show, because here, and this is where a lot of traders actually struggle, because we have no sweep. As in, like, we have a sweep here, then it gets invalidated when the session starts. We will not be looking for trades at this point, because there's no valid sweep, which means that you will have to sit out this session. Now, a lot of people can't handle that and feel like they need to trade every time. I mean, this is like, if you just from looking at this on the hourly chart, that is a huge move and it's a great move, but just because it's a great move doesn't mean we need to be involved. That sitting on your hands is probably one of the biggest skills to learn, especially as a mechanical trader. That is what I find is the biggest benefit to being a mechanical trader, is because your rules aren't there. You got no reason to look, and I don't look at all. I don't bother. I glance at it just to see if there's any other sweeps, but obviously, so I don't trade this edge myself. I trade our DBC edge, which you'll probably see as a pop-up on this video at some point. But I wouldn't look if our rules aren't met. So I have like a bunch of alerts that we set. For example, an alert of this high, alert on this low. Whenever that gets triggered, then I'll be looking. That's just how I function. Anyway, but on Wednesday there is no trade. So let's move on to Thursday. Okay, so we are looking at Thursday now. So Thursday we can already see the most recent thing to happen. So obviously we've got the sweep of the low, then that range gets taken, and now we've got the sweep of a high, which is obviously not invalidated. But anyway, we've got a sweep of the high, so we're looking for a sell. So our bias is already determined. So let's head to the 1 minute. Let's go to. Okay, so this looks interesting. Okay, so let's look for our sweeps. This is a really awkward one. So we have a sweep here, and then it gets triggered just here. So this is our first loss. You can already see that. So this is 0.5 pips there, and then because this is 3.5, this would be a 3R target, which would be somewhere here. I mean, that's just a rough drawing, but okay. Okay, now we're looking for another sweep. So we have this huge range from here to here. Now, in terms of ranges have to go high, low, high, low. It can't go high, high, low, low. So it'll be the lowest point and the highest point of the ranges to identify where your highs and lows are of the range. So you'll ignore anything in between if it doesn't go in order. Anyway, we have a sweep of this range here, and then it eventually gets triggered on this candle. So we're looking for an entry here, and our stop loss will be 5.5, which gets taken out as well, and this would be a 3R target, which I don't need to draw. Now, because you get taken out straight away here, it's still a valid sweep, so you get swept here, and I'm just going to shift this slightly so you can see, and it gets triggered just on this bearish candle here. So let's put our sell order here, our stop loss above the high, which is, it's a big stop loss. What was that? 5.4. No. Okay, and then that will be a 3R target, which is somewhere here. Okay, and that's that done for the day. So -2 and then +1. +3, sorry. So we're looking at one hour for this day. Now, I was going to mention something, but now I don't know what. Yes. So the maximum number of trades for the session, I don't even think I mentioned it any part of this video. It is 3 trades. So if you made it this far in this video, now you know the 3 trade rule as well. So let's move on to Fridays. So now we are looking at Friday. So the most recent sweep that we are seeing is here. So we are looking for sells. Even if you had to go major, I mean, the major range would be there and you'd still be looking for sells. But obviously this is later on in the session, so because even this invalidates when this one opens, and that'll be into the session, we still have valid sweeps from here to from the most recent major range. Thing is here is when this happens, and then we have this candle obviously that opens in the session, we don't know how this first hour is going to close, and this is what also we need to pay attention to, that if this closes as a body above this sweep, then we don't trade any longer until we have another valid sweep, which is obviously when this candle happens. So in this case it doesn't really make too much of a difference, but anyway, let's look into the session. I'm assuming that this will be a losing day given what I just saw on the hourly. What's happened? Oh, there it is. Okay, so we are looking to sell. So let's find our bearish sweeps. So the first bearish sweep is here, and it's here, and it gets triggered by this candle. So this is going to be a -1. I'm just going to draw this roughly because we know what's going to happen here. The next sweep that we have is after this gets taken out. That is a valid. Actually, let's make sure it does get taken out. Actually, I feel like it does. Okay, so it gets taken out here. So we won't be looking for a trade yet. So we're looking for the next sweep, which is here, and then that gets triggered on this candle, which is actually just another sweep as well. So we have this, and then that gets taken out. But I'll just do it now. 4.1 gets taken here, and we're looking for one more trade. And that gets triggered here. So we have this sweep here triggered on this break, this bearish break here, and that would be from there, and obviously this gets taken out wherever that is, and that would be a -3 for this day. So we this is probably one of the days that will frustrate people, but you have to remember what's happened over the week. Compared to now. So for this time, for this week, sorry, we are sitting at +7R, just following a simple rule base of an hourly sweep, identifying our bearish or bullish bias, and then you're looking for your 1-minute sweep, again following your bullish and bearish bias, whatever's determined by your hourly time frame. Now 7R from 2 hours a day, not even that to be fair, some days finish in the first hour. You have to think about the rate of return, which is probably one of the biggest things, is understanding that what return you've made from the very little time and effort that you've actually put in. And effort is one of the biggest things for me, where as a mechanical trader, the amount of effort and time that you put in is actually quite minimal once you learn an edge as simple as this, compared to your standard discretionary methods. Again, there's nothing wrong with trading however you trade. Everyone can trade however they wish, and I'm not saying that this edge is better than any other edge. I don't ever condone the idea of that, because I don't think there's any edge that's better than anything else. It is whatever works for you, and not only that, it's the goal that comes with trading is trying to extract some profits from the market. It's not about, irrespective of how you do it, however you do it, it's based on what you are comfortable with. It's not about what looks pretty, what gives you the massive risk to rewards, because I mean, I used to trade that way, and if anything, it was so much stress. I tried to make it as mechanical as possible, and it caused so much stress for years. I traded that for years, and since 2023, since I released the revamped version of the daily pip cycle, it's been stress free because the system is one time frame, it's one pair, one session, same rules. Nothing changed over that time, and we're sitting currently. I think I said in the little clip that, as I said, will probably pop up at some point. Is we're currently sitting about just over 3,000% in compound gain. Every trade is documented. Every month is documented. So that's just basically an upgraded version of what you're seeing here as a blueprint. This is just a foundation model to that. I hope that this gives you some sort of consistency, as you've seen over the last 4 or 5 weeks from the PDF, and this is just another week for you to add to that as well. But as I said, I will try and post more videos. I'm still recording several videos in one go, so I will drip feed them across the coming weeks. And I don't think I have anything more to say. I want to say that make sure you digest everything that's been said, and if you haven't received the PDFs, feel free to contact our live chat, and I will get them emailed over to you as soon as possible. And then it's for you to go away and firstly backtest, then do some live forward testing, and then whatever you want to do from there. And I hope that this gives, I hope for some of you, I know that buying into a mentorship or course probably seems like it's too much, but you have to understand the amount of time and effort that goes into creating an edge is one thing, and then it's a case of having that support, which is another thing. I don't feel that it's a value thing in terms of time, and I think time is probably the biggest thing. I don't feel like an edge is something that you pay for as such. You're paying for someone's time in you, and it's an investment in yourself. That's how I see it, but I hope that this free edge allows more of you to be able to get to the point where you can strive for that next level. I mean, if you're watching this video, you're still looking to improve, which is perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Even I still look to improve. I'm still looking to improve our daily pip cycle edge, and that's an example of how mechanical trading actually involves. I'm constantly working through data and looking at the stats to identify which pairs are best, what time frame is best, what entry time frame is best, whether we need to add any more confluences and things like that. But I still want to keep things simple. Like, it's constantly being tested and revamped, and that's just how I've been from the start, and that's how things will go. Same with this blueprint edge. Even it's changed over the years since I first released it, and I think this is probably the most simple and most effective version of the blueprint so far, and I'm actually very pleased with it. And I hope that a lot of you will be too. Anyway, I won't take up any more of your time. I hope you, if you haven't subscribed, be sure to do so and press the bell notification thing so you know when new videos are being posted. As I said, I'll carry on posting. Also, be sure to pay attention to our Instagram page for Vertex Investing and Vertex Funding. We'll always have discount codes, and because this will be the first video that is released, let's just say for the mentorship, a discount code of, I don't know, what do we do? I can't do 70%. If it was 7.5 this week, let's say 30%. Let's say YouTube 30. Oh wow, YouTube 30 is the discount code if you want 30% off. And this will only be on this video, and it'll be valid for, I don't know, like 2 weeks. 2 weeks from the release date of the video, that you can use that discount code for the mentorship program or the funding program, which is or actually even the access program. Yeah, why not? We'll say all 3 of our programs you can get 30% off, just purely for watching this video and making it this far into the video as well. But anyway, take care of yourself, and I will speak to you all in the next one.